morning. The Amherst Township Trustees called to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Abraham?
Here.
Lynch?
Here.
Euring?
Yes.
Hish is present. I also have the meeting minutes from the May 25th, 2021 regular meeting of the Amherst Township Trustees. The meeting was called to order at 7:02 p.m. by Chairman Lynch, excuse me, with a pledge to the flag. Roll call, Abraham, Lynch, and Kish were present. Euring was absent. Also in attendance, Case Marsh, R. Cerrone, C. Nyhart, B. Hills, Deputy Lawson, and G. Lynch. 5-5-21, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Abraham. Move to approve the minutes of the May 11th, 2021 regular meeting as read. All ayes. 5-6-21, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Abraham. Regarding the Board of Zoning Appeals, accept the resignation of Ms. Tari Reff and appoint Rose Bechter as successor. All ayes. 5-7-21, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Abraham. Under Board of Zoning Appeals appointment, consideration of an appointment of Mr. Steve Ostolenki as first alternate to the Board of Zoning Appeals. All ayes. 5-8-21, motion by Lynch, seconded by Abraham. Under Board of Zoning Appeals appointment, consideration of an appointment of Mr. Bruce Hills as second alternate to the Board of Zoning Appeals. 5-9-21, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Abraham. Move to approve that the April 2021 credit card account transaction detail has been reviewed per policy and is accepted as presented, subject to investigation. All ayes. 5-10-21, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Abraham. Move to approve the bills and financial reports with reservations. All ayes. Under audience concerns, there were none. Under correspondence, Fiscal Officer Kish noted that copies of the certificate of result of election on the tax levy were in each trustee's mailbox. New credit cards were received for Trustee Lynch and Administrator Ashley. Trustee Lynch noted that we received notification that the state of Ohio will now be responsible to determine if townships will receive funds from the American Rescue Plan. At 7:30 p.m., Chairman Lynch recessed the regular meeting to open the bidding for South Dewey Road resurfacing project. See attachments. Additionally, under correspondence, a list has been updated for the community development wish list discussed at the last meeting regarding adding lighting. Trustee Lynch added item number 8, converting street lighting to LED street lighting and relocating a light pole. Under reports, under ambulance, the next Sandstone Joint Ambulance District Board meeting will be held on June 17th at 7 p.m. at the Amherst Fire Station. Under Sheriff, Deputy Lawson, currently working with the off-road vehicle issue, also received some complaints on Rosedale regarding speeding. He is looking into setting up the mobile speed trailer that registers what the speed limit is and what speed the driver is doing. This usually deters some of the speeding. Under zoning, there are 11 permits issued for the month, year-to-date total of 3 new homes. Under road, park, and cemetery, continued ongoing mowing in the park and cemeteries. We received a couple of calls concerning the porta potties that are in the park. Service will be bumped up to twice a week for June, July, and August. Storm sewer repair on Trails End. Round of roadside mowing and ditch cleaning. Mini grant is in for the stormwater mini grant, and regular maintenance work is going on. Under Phase 2 stormwater permit, 5-11-21, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Abraham. Authorization to bid Lorain County Stormwater District Angle Ditch Restoration Phase 3 project. All ayes. Under 5-12-21, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Abraham. Authorization of application for Lorain County Stormwater Mini Grant Financial Assistance for Catch Basin Repair and Erosion and Sediment Abatement. All ayes. Discuss the viewing of the ditch improvement project of the Batten House Ditch, most of which is located in New Russia Township, although the petition process does affect some Amherst Township residents. The first hearing will be held on June 15th at 9:30 a.m. at the Office of the Board of Commissioners. Under complaints, they're being handled by the designated individuals. 5-13-21, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Abraham, as authorized by ORC 505.87, that Zoning Inspector Remy Cerrone shall take all actions necessary to ensure the removal of debris, vegetation, and other hazards at 323 Deepwood Lane in Amherst Township. All ayes. Under unfinished business, under solid waste, the Board of Commissioners will be deciding on the solid waste grant funds at their meeting tomorrow, May 26, 2021. 5-14-21, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Abraham. Move to enter into executive session at 8:26 p.m. according to ORC sections 121.22G1, to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official. All ayes. 5:15:21, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Abraham. Move to return from executive session at 8:43 PM. All ayes. 5:16:21, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Abraham. Motion to appoint Rex Remington, a former township employee, as a road laborer for up to 24 hours per week at $14 per hour, beginning on date acceptable to the fiscal officer and road superintendent. All ayes. The next regularly scheduled meeting will be held Tuesday, June 8th, 2021, at 7 PM at the Amherst Township Hall. There were no work sessions scheduled. 5:17:21, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Abraham, to adjourn at 8:44 PM. All ayes.
Are there any changes or corrections to the May 25th meeting minutes?
I have none.
Then I'm going to make a motion to approve.
Second.
Lynch,
Yes.
Euring,
Yes.
and Abraham.
Yes.
Okay, then your financials are in front of you. I have the payment listing. You'll notice that the OPWC is in there for our first, our July payment. Health plan is in there again. I had an issue with the check, so there's a couple of voided ones in there. But starting next month, we will be paying them monthly as opposed to quarterly. And this one was just to catch up. I explained that at the last meeting, that they're going to now start billing us monthly. And revenue to date is $731,087.15. And year-to-date expenditures is $445,590.
Are there any questions on the bills or financial reports? Okay, then
I
can I
have none.
have a motion then to pay the bills and approve the financial reports as presented?
So move. Second.
Euring,
Yes.
Abraham,
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes. Is there anything else, Chris?
Well, it is budget time again. Seems to come around faster and faster every year. I need to have the 2022 tax budget form back to the auditor's office by Tuesday, July 20th. I will be working on that the end of the month, this month, and hopefully will be sent electronically to all three trustees, either that Saturday or Sunday, 26th or 27th. I was looking to see if anyone would be available the following week to meet before this would be approved on the 13th. A couple of dates that would work for me would be the 6th of July at 5 PM, or tentatively Friday the 2nd at 7:30 or 8 AM. I'll know that date tomorrow, if I can get that off.
That was Thursday the 1st?
Well, Thursday the 1st, but I thought that might be too soon. I didn't know if you would, that
That's
Friday
right.
give you an extra day.
Oh, so Friday the 2nd?
Friday the 2nd,
Okay.
7:30 to, or 8 AM, and then the 6th at 5 PM would be two of the dates.
Do you need one or two?
I just need one, but those are two options, providing I will be able to
Can you
get off
make it,
the
Neil?
2nd.
Those both work for me because we then have, that Tuesday, we have the zoning commission meeting, so that'd give us an hour and a half before that. What I would suggest, if Chris can, since it's tentative on Friday the 2nd, why don't we do Friday the 2nd at 7:30 AM? And just remember, there's been in the past, we then had to make some more changes, and then we can have the Tuesday the 6th at 5:00 PM as a backup.
Okay,
That would give you time to have it ready before the trustee meeting on the 13th.
would you like Kevin to be at the meeting on the 1st, or I'm sorry, on the 2nd, if that happens?
I would prefer, and that would probably be easier for Kevin also, instead of coming in and staying late, you know, because he can bring anything else that's in there
And I've already mentioned, Kevin, and maybe you've got, I'd have to look, I think I might even have some myself for the old estimates for the other portion of Dewey Road, because Chris was asking about, you know, OPWC, and I said, definitely we're hoping to receive it, but we don't know. And at this point, I don't know the sections that we did not get approval for in funding for Hidden Valley for this year, if we feel we can delay that and apply next year. Realize it's on the unfunded list, there's still a slim chance we could get funding this year, but, you know, that's slim chance. But it could happen, it's happened before. But, you know, that's where we need you to look at it. Can we delay that a year and then potentially get funding, and Chris can include that in the budget, you know, as a potential. Well, if we can't delay it, we'll just have to use it out of our existing funds right now, and, you know, it just, I mean, you know how it works. It just reduces what we have to work with and to use as matches and anything else. Yeah. Well, doing it 100%, yeah. Just look at it, we can discuss it at that meeting, because, I mean, you know how it works. It's, well, geez, we can actually contribute more, improve the odds of getting funded, which helps us leverage the taxpayer dollars even better. And we can discuss that in more detail at the budget meeting. So is that, David, Denny, does that Friday, July 2nd at 7:30 a.m. work for you?
We should.
Okay, Chris, let's put that down,
I
and
will
then
let-
just use that Tuesday then at 5 o'clock p.m. as a backup. And by that way, you shouldn't have to be there, Kevin, because we should have captured all your concerns and information before that. You know, that's just if we need to make some additional adjustments. I'm hoping we don't have to meet, but we won't know till we meet Friday.
Yeah.
I will confirm that.
Okay. And if you just send us an email, and let us know. First.
That's July 2nd?
July 2nd, Friday, July 2nd at 7:30 a.m.
Then at 7:30?
Yes.
Is that set then, pretty much? Is that set then, pretty much?
Yeah, Chris is going to verify it with an email. She's
Oh,
got
she's
to,
gonna verify, we still gotta
yes,
verify then, all right.
right. And once I get that verification from Chris, which I think you believe you can do tomorrow, I'll put together the posting and Linda can post it, so we've got the meeting posted, because we got plenty of time. Okay, anything else, Chris?
Not under financials.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to welcome everyone in attendance. If anyone has anything to bring before the board, please raise your hand. All right, we'll move on. Correspondence, Chris?
I passed out with your packets, OTARMA, their insurance anniversary outline was provided to each trustee. A decision needs to be made prior to paying the invoice if we want to increase the liability limits. And once that is determined, I will need Neil to sign off on the original. Unfortunately, I just got this week. It says it's dated May 20th. We did not get it that.
No, those just came.
Yeah. And they want it back on the 12th, which I've already reached out to Wendy French and said, hey, we just got this, and it has to go through a meeting, so it's too quick to try and do tonight. So I informed her that we would make the decision tonight, and that then I could put the payment in for the June 22nd meeting.
Just want to take a quick glance here. And you're going to, you said you're going to run this by Kevin, too, on the equipment?
Yes.
Okay. And that's just gonna be a double check, Kevin, that we've got everything covered that's in here, and if there's anything we've gotten rid of, to strike it.
I'm pretty confident in the additions because we did that together. I just want to make sure something wasn't taken off that I missed.
Okay, anything else, Chris?
That's all I have.
All right, David?
At this time, I have nothing under correspondence.
All right, Denny?
Nothing.
All right, we've got several items here that are also, let's see, let me just run through them. The first is just reminder that we will have the bid opening for the Engle Ditch Restoration Phase 3 on July 13th. Trustee meeting at 7:30 p.m. As a quick review, the engineer's estimate of that by combining two portions of that ditch, which will now cover from the gun club all the way up to Stang Road at the farthest east crossing of that ditch, is at $205,450. We do have that posted to be completed no later than May 23rd of 2022. And I know, Denny, you've been handling the distribution of the bid packets.
We've handed out seven copies of the prints. I have another copy, another guy coming in tomorrow to pick up the 8th copy. So we're getting a good turnout.
Good.
And that's July
13th,
13th, our first meeting of the month.
yes. Okay, the second item is the American Rescue Plan Act in terms of for non-entitlement communities like Amherst Township. I can't recall now if I announced this at the last meeting or if this happened since that meeting. The Treasury has now punted the ball to the states. I believe there were 5 states across the U.S. that this impacted. And as a quick review, essentially what happened is townships got zero funding, even though the House originally indicated the townships would be funded. There was some language change in the Senate. Nobody knows why it was changed. It was just, it wasn't deliberate, is what our senators are telling us. It was just some sort of thing as they go through their regular routine. But now the Treasury has ruled the states can decide how to distribute that. I was on 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago with the Office of Budget Management for the state of Ohio. They still weren't sure how that was going to be decided, if it's them, if it's the state legislature. Well, as of just last Friday, the OTA says there's still not an answer. So we don't know if the state has the funding, because the funding was distributed on a per capita basis. It's just a matter of whether they choose to share it and how much they choose to share with the townships. But recognizing this, Denny at the last meeting provided a document that he had received from Dave Richards of Life Care, who was aware that communities were receiving funding through the American Rescue Plan. I don't know if he was aware that townships haven't received it yet, but he's recommending some equipment upgrades that would go into both ambulances that service our district. The total cost, and this includes some trade-in items too, would be just a little over $64,000 for this new equipment. Essentially, this is ventilation equipment for a patient where it will give immediate feedback to the person operating the equipment to make sure they're not over-ventilating or under-ventilating the patient. It will also transmit all the data to the medical staff that they're delivering the patient to. So this would definitely fit that funding. Denny's going to discuss this at the next meeting of the Sandstone Joint Ambulance District, because our assumption is, I still expect the state's going to give us some funding, don't know when. This fits right in with the American Rescue Plan requirements for expenditures. But if for some reason the state chooses not to send funding to the township, we can go and request some funding from our Lorraine County Commissioners, who also receive a large allocation, because they're aware that townships were not funded and they're still waiting to see what happens with this. And Denny will have the discussion with the district as far as the splits, but I assume we do the same thing with the CARES Act for the added Lucas unit. It's just split it based on the population in the district. So essentially for Amherst Township, that'd be roughly 30% of the cost that's on there. So, 20-some thousand plus for our portion. But this would definitely be an improvement in the potential of saving lives. But again, we've got to wait and see where the funding source is going to be. So, and we'll hear from Denny at the next trustee meeting how the district receives it, what discussion they have. I believe both, I know Amherst would, I believe South Amherst would have received their funding also. I don't know if they've received it yet. Also, we did receive in your packet, you've got the listing of the bid openings we had at a previous meeting for the portion, the southern portion, the South Dewey Road, and the county engineer is recommending that we award the contract to Precision Paving, and we will do that once we receive the notice from the Ohio Public Works Commission sometimes in July. So it's just, you've got this document to see what the tabulations were and the engineer's recommendation that we require, and then the placeholder, come our meeting in July, we'll be approving this and awarding the bid to Precision Paving. But again, we have to wait till we receive the official notice from the Ohio Public Works Commission. Okay, with that, we'll move on to our reports. Denny, ambulance.
We have an ambulance board meeting at 7 p.m. at the Amherst Fire Station. Once again, that will be on July 17th, Thursday, July 17th at 7 p.m. at the Amherst Fire Station. Any questions on that? Okay.
Hope you get positive feedback on the life care thing. You did send that to me electronically. I had you scan that. If you want, Denny, if it's easier, I don't know if you guys share stuff before the meeting. Linda scanned that life care correspondence, so we've got it all electronically. We could forward it to you, and
Well, I'll give you the names of all the board members
Okay.
after the meeting.
Okay, yep, I
Okay.
can do that.
that way they can review it ahead of time, because there's quite a bit in there. Okay, zoning, Remy?
There was 0 permits for the month so far, and we still stand at 3 houses year to date. Other than that, just a corrective, still looking into the corrective action on the property with the overgrown grass.
Okay. Roads, parks, and cemetery, Superintendent Smarsh.
We're just staying busy. Everything's pretty quiet, but we keeping up with the mowing, the trimming. We're on potholes. The part-timer, he did start, and he's working out good. We had a sweeper, the road sweeper came in and hit Hidden Valley again. That was yesterday. So
The second time, Kevin.
that's correct. And now we are going to be turning on to the roadside trimming. We have quite a few trees to trim, so we're going to be on that here real quick. But I did get the bid books back from the county, so once we get that okay, then I have all the slots ready for signatures
Okay.
in the bid books.
Hopefully we hear from OPWC before the first meeting in July, and I've already structured the resolution. The only thing I don't have is their official document. Pop that in and Linda will get them printed for our meeting.
Right on. Yep, that's all I have.
Okay, well, there is one other item here, and I'm trying to recall, Kevin, if hopefully these are in your packet. I can't recall which ones we got in or not. We received this just on June 7th from the county engineer's office. It was actually sent to Linda. She forwarded to me because she saw that we weren't copied. And so do you have in your packet from Pete Sawick a correspondence dated June 7th? I don't recall if I gave you one or not.
Yes.
Okay. All right, there's going to be two of them, and then there's a second correspondence. It's June 8th from me to Linda, but it's June 7th from John Evanson. Both of these deal with the same item. Just so the trustees are aware, the first one that came in from Pete, it was confusing to me because I wasn't sure. It was sent to a Roseanne, I'm going to assume it's pronounced Denega, with a Lorraine County email address. When I looked her up, it shows her as an engineer at KS Associates, so I don't know if she's doing both or working at the county now. And it was copied to Amherst Township and Bob Kleiber, and the subject was Amherst Township Concrete Street Standards, and they had an attachment of our standard, and you've got a copy of that attachment. And the first item was the particulars of dowels and tie rods and questions, and then it says, therefore, the township would have to authorize Fabrizi's proposed substitution for dowels and tie rods. In this case, the county engineer would not object to installing this proposed substitution because it's actually a more widely accepted practice. And there's a number 2, the 6-inch soil cement ODOT 206 is required regardless. When I received this, unfortunately, Kevin, by the time I got to the email and saw it, you would have been gone. County engineer's office was closed. I just assumed when I saw subdivision regulations, the only item we have going on through subdivision review right now would have to be Hampshire Farms. So before I sent this on, I had to find out what it is. I did contact Tom Oster, and he got John Evanson on the phone, and it turns out, yes, this was Hampshire Farms. And that's what the second email is, and that's why we've got it here. Unfortunately, John went through the detail to explain why we're receiving this. But to put it, what Hampshire Farms has done is they bid out for their road construction for that 51 unit housing development. And Fabrizi is one that put in the bid, but Fabrizi was asking, hey, the spec that Hampshire Farms sent them includes the Amherst Township road spec, and Fabrizi's used to following this ODOT spec, and they want to know, is there any reason they can't use the ODOT spec? And we'll go over that detail right now, and that's where Pete's saying for the dowel rods, and we'll discuss that detail, yes, the engineers finds that okay, but that the soil stabilization would still be required. Hampshire Farms, as far as they're concerned, they'll do whatever spec we want on that. It's not time sensitive, because I asked that, saying we've just received this, it's our first notice of that there's even a question. And I was told, no, it's not an emergency type thing, that, you know, if we got it done in a month, even 2 months, they don't see an issue. It's just that they're out trying to get things sewed up on their contractors. So in any case, if you look through this, just to compare things, John's put down here the township spec as far as the question, the ODOT spec, then Fabrizi, which is the same as the ODOT spec. So you really only have to look at the township and ODOT spec. We have for the transverse joints, every 14 feet, we cut the road. ODOT is every 15 feet. On centers, we've got the 1-inch epoxy coated rebar every, 24 inches long on 24-inch centers, whereas the ODOT spec is 18-inch, 1-inch diameter epoxy coated on every 1-foot center. So basically, they're doubling the number of connecting points, but it's only 18 inches, foot and a half versus 2 feet long. Then if you go the lengthwise, longitudinally along the road, is we specify the 1-inch epoxy coated rebar, 24-inch long on 24-inch centers. The ODOT spec is 1-inch epoxy coated, 30 inches long, so they're actually longer, but on 30-inch centers, so 2.5 feet. And so the question just is, which one does the township prefer? And I just want to throw this out to the trustees because for Pete's email here is that if we allow the ODOT spec, then the township has to authorize that, I would assume by a resolution or a motion, and to notify the county engineer of that. So now that you understand what the question is, I want to throw it open for comments. And Kevin, I want you to understand, since it's, you deal with the roads, but keep in mind, prior to 2003, our road specs didn't have any of this in. And you know how it is, a lot of it was just wire mesh. That's down there. So with that, I just want to hear the comments. Do you guys have a preference one way or the other on here?
Myself, I would go with ODOT.
David?
Honestly, unless you can think of some reason why we would have to have a different spacing on the joints, I can't see a major difference one way or the other. The important thing is that you've got the rebar in there. You've got the rebar connecting the joints. That's the important thing. They want to go with a shorter rebar on the traverse joints, but they're going to be set closer together. You're going to have more rebar in there. Important thing is you have rebar in there and something to hold the road together. And, longitudinal joining, you're going to have 30 inches at 30 inches, so you're going to have a longer rebar, but set a little farther apart. It's all 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. To me, it's close. They're close. Unless you can think of some reason why it should be exactly 14 feet, or why it should be exactly 24 inch long, or on those rebars.
Well, then how about instead of changing we'll just leave our standard the same and just take it on this case based on what Pizza Wick said is, just make a motion to authorize Fabrizi's proposed substitution for the dowels and tie rods per the ODOT specification. Let me get the spec here. You writing this down, Chris?
No, not yet.
So if we say per the attached ODOT specification,
Okay, I'm ready.
okay, I'll make a motion to authorize Fabrizi's proposed substitution for dowels and tie rods per the attached ODOT specification.
I'll
As long as
second
Chris
that
has got
motion.
it down.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, I'm making sure I have the spelling of this right. So to authorize Fabrizi's proposed substitution for doweled and dry rods,
Tie rods.
tie rods?
Maybe we should say for Hampshire Farm, so we
For
know.
Hampshire Farm.
Yeah, for the Hampshire Farm subdivision.
Trying to see where the wording is. Where does it say the rods? The rods. Tie rods. Thank you.
And just add in for the Hampshire Farm subdivision, so it's just for this, because the county's looking at, you know, these road standards across the county right now.
Okay, so now I've got to authorize Fabrizi's proposed substitution for doweled and tie rods for the Hampshire Farm subdivision per the attached ODOT specification.
Correct, that's my motion.
I'll second that.
Lynch?
Yes.
Abraham?
Yes.
Euring?
Yes.
You know the number on that, Chris?
I will in 1 second. I believe it is 6-3.
Still counting?
No, it's 6-3. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
6/3/21
Yes, sir.
for attach. All right. And just so you're aware, Kevin, when you're out there on the inspection, more for the deflection, because the soil stabilization stays in there. Okay. All right, Senior Services and Township Administrator Ashley.
Okay, I have nothing for senior services. Tomorrow I did sign up for an OTA webinar on grant writing. And it's an hour long, and I thought maybe that would help us, since I seem to be doing more of these grants. Maybe we can, you know, get some positive wording that we would be able to use on some of our future grants. It's all about creative writing, right? The Lorraine County Public Health Grant that we put in for the park, I have not heard anything. My assumption is that we did not get it since they were to notify the winners by June 1st. So that means the park playground equipment is going to have to come out of our general budget, or general fund, or whatever.
Is that Sarah Tilly
For,
from the Community Health Investment Grant?
I don't have a name.
Well, Amherst Township has been awarded $6,756.81.
Oh, they sent it to you.
I just
Oh.
just got it.
Yay, I'm happy.
Of the requested $14,084.87. Your grant scored 62 points out of a possible 75.
Not bad.
Oh, the full,
Very good.
Sorry, I actually had
we just
no
got it.
idea.
it's that's why when I'm going, wait a minute. The funds awarded by Community Health Investment Grant is 4 square decks, 1 triangle deck,
Yep.
1 rectangular deck, and 1 double zip slide. Funds not covered was a spiral slide, a thread insert placing tool, material surcharge, and freight.
Okay.
The review panel was impressed by your integration of partners in the project.
Wow,
I am thrilled to death that was the first one I ever wrote.
very good.
What was the
Now,
amount
am
on
I
that,
the
Chris?
primary coordinator, or are you the primary?
I think I had to put you down for funded, yeah, for the fiscal officer.
It says, a mandatory phone call or meeting will be scheduled with the primary coordinator in Lorraine County Public Health on June 10th, 11th, 14th, or 15th. Funded projects are subject to at least one site visit during the year.
Okay.
Projects are also required to complete a final grant report for which a template will be available. Project funds are reimbursed by Lorraine County Public Health upon receipt of invoices from the primary coordinator.
Okay.
All
I will
invoices
have to
from
look
the
and see.
primary coordinator must be received by November 30th, 2021.
Okay, can you
If-
forward, oh,
Yep.
sorry. Okay.
If Amherst Township agrees to accept these grant terms and funds, please sign below and scan and send to, so I apologize. I
Oh,
just,
no, no, that's okay. What was the amount? 6,000?
6,756.81.
681? Okay. It's
And
half.
So I'm
congratulations.
sorry.
Yeah,
that-
yay! Because I really didn't think I hadn't heard, so, okay. So we'll,
This just in.
this just in. We will
Breaking
have-
news. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
We will change the newsletter a little to tweak it to incorporate that. All right, well, that made my whole day. The community sponsorship grant, or event, community event sponsorship grant for $1,500 I'm working on currently, and that's
NOPEC.
through NOPEC, yes. And we discussed that earlier about utilizing FACE as our entity that will be helping us on that. So I will be working on that this week. It is due by June 30th. And then the other one is the Green Ribbon Award that I gave to you this evening to just kind of look at. I will email that to you. That's a $2,500 potential award, and that's for future energy projects. So possibly we could use it, as we talked about before, changing the lights in the hall or in the sheriff's office, the offices, that would go toward that. Other than that, oh, I have this, and I told David I had the paper for him to sign, the application for the plumbing inspector for the state of Ohio for Tom Horseman. Both of you gentlemen signed. I still need David's signature on that.
Well, that's good. Kevin and Linda, you guys got to be excited. I know I am.
Awesome.
That is awesome, because that was a
Yeah,
little
we
bit
just
of
went
work.
from sad to happy, right?
I know. Now I can let, and the Girl Scout troop,
Yeah.
I'm remiss here to not mention a big, huge thank you to the Girl Scout troop. I believe it's 50240. They're a Hidden Valley troop, and they've offered to come over to the park and kind of take a peek at the playground equipment and pick up a little bit of trash around, kind of keep an eye for vandalism and things that aren't right over there. They're going to call me if they notice anything that can wait. If it's something of an emergency or something that they feel the sheriff should be involved with, they're just going to call the sheriff's office.
And that's
So,
nice.
Yeah.
Now, but you guys probably haven't seen the newsletter yet, but
I have.
an article in there.
Yeah, Tracy, I'm going to botch her last name. Tackets, something like that, and I apologize. She's the leader, and she's the one that I've been speaking to, and the girls are very excited about doing that. They live close, and they're going to kind of take
nice.
turns. I do need to get a baseball schedule for them so that they can try to work around baseball games, so they're not over there trying to pick up while we have hundreds of
We
people.
can go
in-
down there and tell the baseball people to pick up.
Hand out flyers, right?
Yeah.
Recruiting.
Yeah, we're not your servant, pick up your trash.
Right. Yeah, if only everybody would listen, but
Yeah.
anyways.
Well, thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.
And
Great
Kevin,
job,
I
Linda.
thank you too.
Yeah, I really didn't think we got that. Yay, I'm so excited.
Yeah, good. Okay, anything else or any questions for Linda? All right. We're going to move on then. We've got complaints here. Remy, you already said for the, were you referring to the one on Deepwood then?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm finding out that the gentleman owns two properties. The other one is on Oberlin Road, and it's in a similar situation, but I think it's going up for sheriff's sale still trying to kind of hone in on exactly what's going on. I'll have a little more tomorrow. I'm gonna start doing some deeper investigation into it.
Which one is this one, the Deepwood one?
Yes.
Okay, as far as, that's everything that needed to be covered this evening. So for the other items that are, everyone has assigned specific responsibility, is there anything else to report? I know, David, you have something for solid waste.
Are you ready for that?
Yeah, just go ahead
The
and
only
speak up.
item
This
I
is
was
a shout-out time.
Well, a few items under solid waste. First item, they did increase the amount to $450,000, and then increased our amount that we're eligible for this year's community incentive grant to $11,494.87. $11,494.87. The policy committee did meet today. Let you know about that. A few items under that. Policy committee, or not policy, solid waste is still working on the host community agreement with Republic. They're still not finished with that. Plan revision starts in August. And let's see what else we got here I wanted to cover. The recycling center, they're having a very good year, probably their best year ever, better than even 2018. They're thinking of expanding their hours, possibly open up on Monday. We open on Mondays now, so they're happy about that. Some items, some retirements coming up. Bev Gardner, the administrative assistant at Solid Waste, she's going to retire at the end of June. And at the end of August, Mike Greenberg, GT Environmental, he's going to retire. And David Cavell, Health Commissioner, announced at the end of the year he will be retiring. So,
Who's that? Health Commissioner?
Dr. Cavelli,
Oh, okay.
that was out today. That's
So
interesting
they're
there.
gonna be without a doctor. Well, they probably are working on getting that.
I want to bring that up. Also, the grants are, obviously, the grant amounts are out. The grant's going to be due here as soon as possible. I was going to open it up to you if you had any suggestions. Otherwise, I'll do it pretty much the same as last year. You know, we'll try to cover the cost of the grinding of the yard waste and some of the newsletters. And that, I think last 2 years we did do an article on the recycling center. We could do it again if we want. Once a year, that's not bad. Promote that, and that hopefully will make the residents aware of other avenues for recycling, other items that they can recycle by taking them over to the recycling center. I wanted, unless you have some other ideas.
I would
Something
keep
different.
it pretty much the same, David. I wouldn't overextend on this, especially though this is a nice chunk of change with that
Better than before.
$11,494. It is, it depends upon what before is. It's better than last year. That equates to an increase of 25.2%. But let's go back. I remember starting as a trustee when we used to get $72,000 on an annual basis. And if you look at the agenda under solid waste, because I've since 2008 been keeping the running tab, if you remember, it was in 2008 when we started the volume-based system with the carts. And if you included that, they threw in a $20,000 incentive, so we received $76,000 in 2008. We received $60,000 in 2009, then it started in 2010, and this is where they reduced the tipping fees. We got zero. 2011, we received zero. 2012, yeehaw, we got $7,963. and it dropped down, and, you know,
It's been running about that since.
it's pretty
Under
much,
10.
that's right around,
10.
you know, 6,000 to 8,000. It
Yeah.
keeps going up and down there. So this is a huge increase over last year of 25%. But, you know, it's maybe 8%, 9% of what we received in the past. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I'm very appreciative of this. But yeah, I think as far as knowing what our costs are between the newsletter and the grindings, you know, that's not gonna go all that far. Okay. And I don't know, it's really with the security system up there, Kevin, is the drop-off going down?
Yeah, it appears being halfway through the year in the sense of, from the past at least 3 years, at the, close to the halfway mark, it's definitely, the least it's been.
Which will actually reduce our costs, because we expect, you know, obviously our residents are gonna still bring stuff up. There's no reason they can't. It's going to be the people and, you know, commercial and whatnot that shouldn't be bringing stuff in. You know, now that they can wave at the camera.
Except for Mr. Patton.
The cameras were, have definitely been a big help.
Okay. But you know then, David, unless, Denny, you don't, unless something new comes up, you know, it's gonna all be consumed. You know, but we don't know what else, like, you know, what happened with the CARES Act. We just don't know with this type of funding, what else might come up and, you know, might change things a little bit. But right now, assume status quo, use the grant the way you've prepared it before. It's pretty detailed. Okay, are there any other items there?
I have none.
Okay, Joan, you're the only one here from the public. Anything to bring up? Okay, our next regular meeting will be on Tuesday, June 22nd. We do have tentative, the 2022 tax budget meeting at 7:30 a.m. on Friday, July 2nd, and then also a fallback for Tuesday, July 6th at 5 o'clock p.m. At this point, is there any need for a work session? I see one. If
No.
there would have been any disagreement on the road standard, I would have been trying to schedule one with Pete, but okay, then is there any need for an executive session?
No, sir.
And can I have a motion to adjourn?
I will make that motion.
One second.
Abraham,
Yes.
Gehrig,
Yes.
Lynch,
Yes.